Adding new files and folders in Team System Source Control is easy. There are several ways of doing so. One way is by simply choosing the location where you would like to add a new file or folder and click on the icon called Add Files and Folders, which brings up the Add to Source Control window. In here, I can choose any folder and add it to the source control. Obviously, no items were found that haven't been added already to source control. Let's go ahead and add one. I'm bringing up my local folder here. Go to a location. And actually what I'm just going to do is just going to copy the license file by Control-C and Control-V. Now I'm going back to my Source Control Explorer, choosing the location where I would like to have that file be added. Click on Add Files and Folders, and here it is. You have seen an interesting aspect here, or workflow, when working with Microsoft Team System Source Control. The file that you would like to add should reside on your local hard drive first in order for it to be added. And it has to reside on the right location. Also notice that there is an exclude option. You can exclude files such as debug and release, PDB libraries, and anything like that. That is good because many of these files are being built later on, and they're being built differently based on each individual setup. So we don't like to add these files. So we would like to go ahead and add the license copy.txt file. Let's click Next. In here I have two tabs, Items to Add and Exclude Items. If I add a whole bunch of files, and there are some files that I would like to exclude from being added, I can simply exclude them. And you can do that by right-clicking on the file and say Exclude. Or simply by highlighting it and click this button down here called Exclude Items. If I click this button, the file has moved from the Items to Add tab to the excluded items. To bring the file back, I simply click the Include item or right-click on the file and say Include. Let's go ahead and finish that. The file has now been marked to be added. This is an important concept to understand. The yellow plus sign indicates that I intend to add this file to the repository but have not done yet so. In order for me to go ahead and add this file, I would simply have to check it in. There's another way to add files to the code repository. Let me show you. You can simply find the file wherever it is, for example on my desktop. Let's close this here for a second. On my desktop, the DND test is a text file, and I'm dragging it over wherever I would like to copy it. In this case, the root of the trunk. And it is adding it. Here's something interesting to observe. Even though I did not commit the file yet to the source control repository, Team System did add the file onto my local location. Remember, the file has to first exist at that local location that corresponds to a source control repository location in order for it to be able to be added. However, if I go ahead and change my mind and say, you know what, I do not like to add this file, let's undo pending changes. Only select that particular file, undo changes. Although Team Source Control Explorer has updated my intent to add the file and remove the file adequately, it did not remove the actual physical file from my trunk. It is still here. In order for me to actually delete that file, I have to right-click and say delete and physically delete the file.